We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Bad poll numbers for Biden. Wholesale inflation rises again. Good news for your health and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. CNN senior data reporter Harry Enton called new poll results showing Joe Biden trailing former President Trump in several key swing states calamitous for the president on Monday. Frankly, for the Joe Biden campaign, these numbers are an absolute disaster, Enton said, pointing to the results of a New York Times, Siena College, Philadelphia Inquirer poll showing Trump ahead of Biden in Georgia, Nevada, and Arizona. He's up 6 in Arizona. Look at this, 9 in Georgia, 13 in Nevada. My goodness gracious, my God, he said, describing Trump's numbers among likely voters. That is a huge lead. No Democrat has lost Nevada since John Kerry lost it back in 2004. The New York Times poll also found Trump ahead by 3 points in Pennsylvania and by 1 point in Wisconsin among likely voters. Biden leads Trump by 1 point in Michigan, according to the Times. After President Biden gave his ultimatum of withholding offensive weapons if Israel were to launch an invasion of Rafah, rocket attacks rained down on Israel on Friday from Rafah, with more rockets fired on Saturday. Hamas launched rockets from Rafah at the southern Israel city of Beersheba on Friday for the first time since December, as Iranian proxy Hezbollah sent a barrage of rockets into the northern Israel city of Kiryat Shimona, causing a massive fire. Within the Gaza Strip on Friday, 4 Israeli soldiers were killed. When administration officials attacked or berated Israel publicly previously during the war, Hamas hardened its demands in return for releasing hostages, in fact, delaying and minimizing the chances of success of the delicate negotiation, according to Jonathan Conricus. Conricus served in the Israel Defense Forces for 24 years as a combat commander in Lebanon and the Gaza Strip. In a dramatic shift, the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has revised its data pertaining to the number of Palestinian casualties in the 7-month-old Gaza war, reducing almost by half the number of women and children it previously claimed were killed in the hostilities between Israel and the Iranian-backed terror group Hamas. According to an infographic published in their daily report on May 6th, the number of women killed in the fighting was claimed to be 9,500, while the organization, which admits to relying on figures from the Hamas-run Ministry of Health in Gaza, claimed that 14,500 children had been killed since the war began on October 7th. 2 days later, in its May 8th report, the UN agency appeared to have cut the number nearly in half, showing instead that some 4,959 women and 7,797 children had been killed so far in the war, which began after thousands of Hamas-led terrorists infiltrated southern Israel from Gaza, slaughtering more than 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and taking some 240 people hostage. The numbers show the extent to which the Israeli Defense Forces have been trying to spare civilians and protect them from the onslaughts. The House Oversight and Judiciary Committees will consider a resolution Thursday to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress over his failure to produce the subpoenaed audio recordings of President Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur during his classified records probe. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer and House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan had previously threatened to hold Garland in contempt of Congress over the Justice Department's failure to produce the audio recordings. Each committee will meet Thursday at 11 a.m. on Capitol Hill. Walmart is cutting hundreds of corporate jobs and asking most remote workers to move to offices, according to people familiar with the matter. In addition, workers in small offices in Dallas, Atlanta, and Toronto are being asked to move to other central hubs like Walmart's corporate headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas, as well as Hoboken, New Jersey, or Northern California, said one of the people familiar with the matter. Walmart will still allow staff to work remotely part of the time as long as they are in offices the majority of the time. Walmart is the country's largest employer with 1.6 million U.S. workers, most of them in stores and warehouses. Walmart has tens of thousands of U.S. corporate workers across the country. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday replaced his defense minister, Sergei Shoigu, a longtime ally, nominating an economist to take his place in the most substantial shakeup to the military's command structure since Moscow launched its war on Ukraine in February 2022. In a decree published Sunday, Putin nominated Andrei Belosov, a former deputy prime minister who specializes in economics, to replace Shoigu, who in turn was named as the new secretary of the Security Council, a post until now held by Nikolai Patrushev. The elevation of an economist to lead Russia's defense ministry signals the extent to which the war has become central to Russia's economy. Wholesale prices jumped more than expected in April, putting up another potential roadblock to interest rate cuts anytime soon. The Producer Price Index, a measure of what producers receive for the goods they produce, increased 0.5% for the month, higher than the 0.3% Dow Jones estimate. However, the March reading was revised from an initially reported 0.2% gain to a decline of 0.1%. Stripping out volatile food and energy prices, core PPI also increased 0.5% compared to the 0.2% Dow Jones estimate. Finally, infusing more olive oil into your diet could pay big dividends for cognitive health and longevity, a new study suggests. Researchers from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health and other universities analyzed population health data for more than 92,000 adults over a 28-year period. The participants' average age was 56, and none of them had heart disease or cancer. They found that people who consumed over 7 grams a day of olive oil had a 28% lower risk of dementia-related death compared to those who rarely or never consumed it. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.